Traffic is starting to pick up in the Grand Strand, and the rumbles of motorcycle engines are ramping up.
I spoke with some people who say they've attended Bike Week for decades. How they say the scene has changed since.
Plus, I'll explain how South Carolina Highway Patrol is gearing up for tourist season.
Then the skies over North Myrtle Beach filled with U.S. Army Special Forces today. A closer look at their training and why officials say they enjoy doing it in front of those crowds. All that and more just moments away. WNBF News at 5 starts right now.
Live, local, late breaking. This is WNBF News at 5.
Thanks for joining us here at 5 o'clock. I'm Meredith Keyline. My co-anchor Eric Weisfeld has the day off. Let's start tonight with a bird's eye view over downtown Florence. Pretty warm night out there, and you can expect those temperatures to only heat up from here. Meteorologist Robert Whitehurst here now with the first alert to that unseasonably warm weather. Robert.
Yeah, starting to feel that today. Temperatures into the middle 90s from Conway through Florence, sitting at 93 in Florence, hit 94 earlier this afternoon, seeing 90s all the way into Horry County. Notice the difference, though, on the other side of the Seabird. You can see the line there. 91 in Conway, but 78 in Myrtle Beach. We'll see temperatures hovering around 82 to 83 tomorrow, but the heat index really starts to bump up, so everybody will feel like the 90s. Notice it doesn't drop much tonight either. Lower 70s is all we manage, so a warm and kind of muggy start to the day. We'll hit the 80s by 10 to 11 a.m. Bring in the chance of 1 or 2 showers tomorrow. Most of the area will be rain-free, but an isolated shower or two is certainly a possibility of much-needed rain. Now, the rain chance is low through the rest of the weekend. Temperatures continue to warm up. We'll have a look at hotter weather for next week. That's coming up in my 7-day forecast.
The Grand Strand starts to get pretty busy this time of year, though some say it's not the same as it used to be. WNBF News reporter Marissa Tansino joining us live from downtown Myrtle Beach, where bikers and vacationers are here. Marissa.
Yeah, Meredith, I spoke with both visitors and businesses. The Boardwalk Coffee House just down behind me, down in downtown Myrtle Beach, says that business first peaked when they opened 9 years ago, but now they say during the bike seasons, it seems to have leveled off. I spoke with many people who traveled miles to come to the Grand Strand this week. Some of them say since they first started coming to Bike Week decades ago, the scene has really changed since then. Right now, we're seeing a lot of bikers coming and going from Myrtle Beach for the spring rally. I spoke with some people in town who have visited the area for decades. One couple I spoke with says it's not what it was 30 years ago, but they have noticed it pick up over the last few years.
We felt like we were not wanted at all at one period in time, but since then it's slowly been building back up.
Now, most people I spoke with say they're here for the spring rally until Sunday, but the city is already preparing for Bike Fest, expecting to come to the city next week. Live in Myrtle Beach, Marissa Tansino, WNBF News.
Things running pretty slow on Highway 501, especially back towards the Grand Strand, only running about 5 to 10 miles per hour right now from CSC all the way past Carolina Forest Boulevard. Improvements once you get past the outlets, but those commute times from Conway back to Myrtle Beach still hovering 30-35 minutes, so it's slow going. Actually a little better going the other direction back into Conway. And we're at about 29 to 30 minutes. That's an improvement. It's still very slow across the rest of the area as well. We've seen some pretty long delays down towards here in Surfside near the intersection of 544 and 17 bypass. Also some pretty long delays on 17 up towards North Myrtle Beach and Little River.
Over the last few days, those along the Grand Strand have, of course, seen a major increase in traffic congestion along the roads, but this traffic is not going anywhere anytime soon. WNBF News reporter Casey Watson joining us live now from Kings Highway near Surfside Beach. Casey, what are you seeing out there?
Well, Meredith, over the last hour and a half, 2 accidents, both involving motorcycles, have happened within about 2 miles of each other here on Kings Highway. The most recent one is still being worked by first responders back here behind me. A representative with Horry County Fire Rescue says that this was a minor accident with minor injuries, but that's not always the case. From 2006 to 2015, there were 97 fatal collisions involving 109 deaths during Memorial Day weekend. And now the state is considered one of the deadliest for traffic accidents on Memorial Day weekend. Corporal Sonny Collins with South Carolina Highway Patrol says drivers need to be extra cautious and check their mirrors twice. Make sure to be aware of your blind spots, as many of the vehicles on the roads will be motorcycles, which can be often missed when switching lanes or entering the highway, especially at night. Collins says his agency, along with others, have been preparing for the anticipated tourist season for months.
Well, Memorial Day kicks off the unofficial start to summer, what we like to say. It starts the 100 deadly days of summer. We have the bike rally that goes on Memorial Day weekend. So we start gearing up actually a couple of weeks ago with the end of Easter. The bike rallies lead into Memorial Day, and then really for the whole rest of the summer, we'll see that increased traffic.
And as you heard Collins mention, he referred to the upcoming months as the 100 deadly days of summer. With that being said, a report was released yesterday that says South Carolina is one of the top 10 most deadly states during Memorial Day. Coming up tonight at 6, you'll find out where the Palmetto State stands. Live in Horry County, Casey Watson, WNBF News.
In other news tonight, an indictment was handed down for the man charged in the death of 13-year-old Hania Aguilar. Hania was kidnapped from her home last November. Her body found weeks later, partially submerged in a muddy pit. It's not clear when the indictment for Michael McClellan's first-degree murder charge was handed down. He's charged with 10 felonies in all and is due in court on June 3rd. New information tonight on baby boy Ori. The newly born infant was found deserted on the side of a road off South Carolina Highway 544 and Meadowbrook Drive back in December 2008. DNA tests have revealed that this North Myrtle Beach woman, Alyssa Daywalt, who's charged with killing her 2 newborn infants and putting their bodies in dumpsters, is not the mother of baby boy Ori. Officials say baby Ori's DNA will now be submitted to Parabon Nanolabs for genetic genealogy. And that same company will examine the DNA of this unidentified man who was found in the swimming pool at Ocean Creek Resort back in 2016. Officials are asking you to give them a call if you have any information on either case. The Hartsville couple charged in connection with the death of a 2-year-old will undergo a mental health evaluation. It comes after 21-year-old Jody Holden and 24-year-old Randall Watson Jr. were in court yesterday for bond consideration. Along with ordering the evaluation, the judge denied bond for both of them. Holden and Watson are charged with homicide by child abuse in connection to the death of Aiden Smith, who died last month at an area hospital after being brought in with severe injuries. One person is dead after an early morning shooting in Robeson County, and another man is still wanted in connection to it. Deputies say they found 29-year-old Mitchell Emanuel in a home on Chris Road in Lumber Ridge with multiple gunshot wounds. He died at the hospital from his injuries. Officials are looking for 21-year-old Nicholas Locklear. He's charged with first-degree murder. If you know where he may be, give the Robeson County Sheriff's Office a call. Deputies in Georgetown captured a prisoner who they say escaped custody while being treated at a hospital. We're told 30-year-old Vernon Swales, here on your screen, took off from Tidelands Memorial Hospital this morning. He was located after a manhunt. Officials say he was initially arrested yesterday on an outstanding warrant. U.S. Army Special Forces taking to the skies all around the Grand Strand today for some training. WNBF News reporter Aaron Ladd caught up with military officials before the final flights today.
For the second year in a row, Special Forces are using Grand Strand beaches as their own training grounds.
It's a bird, it's a plane, it's the U.S. Army.
Today we're conducting airborne operations over water to make sure that we're operationally ready for whenever we have to go out there and conduct these operations in the future.
Special Forces using North Myrtle Beach as a training ground as beachgoers and family members look on just feet away.
It's a bittersweet thing, you know, a little bit of military oriented.
The Scott family is here to support Markel, a North Myrtle Beach local and special operations member planning to re-enlist after his jump.
But at the same time, you know, it's your son coming out of there. And so, you know, it's a little bitter coming down, but once they hit the water, you know, the sweet part happens. You know, you're joyful about it.
Oh, it's amazing to have this kind of turnout. We do have people out here re-enlisting. Their families are watching their jumps.
In North Myrtle for the second year in a row, officials say they're encouraged by the surrounding community embracing military action.
We have veterans out here that used to be part of airborne operations watching these things, talking to us about the stories they have from their prior experience. So it's just great to have the community here.
Back on his home sand, Scott's family says there's no place like home for the serviceman.
You know, he graduated here from North Myrtle Beach High School. He's well known in there. He played football and basketball here 4 years through our high school. He was definitely a part of the community, well known.
And Scott's family tells me that he plans plans to re-enlist right here on his home sands of North Myrtle Beach right after his final jump. Reporting in North Myrtle Beach tonight, Aaron Ladd, WNBF News.
Imagine this, a 4-day school week. It's actually a proposal one PD superintendent is asking district officials to consider in an effort to help retain teachers. Florence School District 3 Superintendent Laura Hickson's plan has classes running Monday through Thursday with school days extended 1.5 hours per day. We'll have much more on this proposal tonight on WNBF News at 6. But before that, the popular Market Common restaurant that inspectors gave a low score to. We'll have that and why, and which places have perfect scores. Restaurant Scorecard is all new and next at 5. Expired food, dirty knives, standing water, plus another trio of picture perfect and a couple of new places on the South Strand. Here's my co-anchor Eric Weisfeld.
We begin this week's restaurant scorecard with Tupelo Honey Cafe at 3042 Howard Avenue in the Market Common in Myrtle Beach. Inspectors found improper holding temperatures for a variety of hot and cold foods. Sauces, condiments, dressing, and romaine lettuce were found with date markings exceeding 7 days. A spray bottle under the hand sink was not properly marked. Inspectors found improper cooling methods for cheesy potato casserole and baked chicken wings. A container storing grilled chicken and a cut Granny Smith apple was found being stored on the product itself. The egg slicer was found stored on top of hard-boiled eggs out of the shell. Inspectors found scoop handles stored in the chicken breading and hush puppy batter. Floors in the dish room were found cut and exposing the concrete floor. That cut area was also holding water. We're told a plan for repair, though, was submitted last October. Dirty knives were found being stored on a magnetic strip in the prep area. A small make-top cooler was observed dripping water and collecting in the bottom. The larger make-top on the cook line was found with standing water as well, and a missing handle. Inspectors gave Tupelo Honey Cafe a 74 out of 100. Next up is CW's Wings and Rib Shack at 117A Rivertown Boulevard. That's in Conway. Inspectors found improper hot and cold holding temperatures for a variety of foods there. They also discovered an accumulation of grease and food debris on the exterior of the chili hot holding unit. The sides and exterior of the cook line equipment and prep table shelves had accumulation of grease and food debris as well. Caulk was missing at the hand sink to the wall. Caulk was also missing at the hood unit. There was no holding thermometer in the glass door cooler by the prep sink. CW's Wing and Rib Shack receives an 88 out of 100. This week's perfect scores, a triple play again this week. Pirates Cove Ice Cream at 6900 North Ocean Boulevard in Myrtle Beach. Chick-fil-A at 2360 Dick Pond Road in Myrtle Beach. And Cockadoodle Cafe at 3840 Highway 701 North in Conway. Each scores a 100. Congratulations to all of you. Well, 2 new places to break bread in the South Strand. Look for Wild-Fired Pizza, Laughs, and Beer to come to Surfside Beach. Pizza Hyena at 13 South Ocean Boulevard, expected to open sometime this summer. And if sushi's on your menu, you can enjoy Yagi Sushi and Hibachi right now. The eatery at 47A Dagala Way in Palvy's Island is already open.
To take a closer look at those inspections, head on over to WNBFnews.com. Click on the menu bar on the top left and select Restaurant Scorecard.
Now, WNBF News First Alert meteorologist Robert Whitehurst.
The warm temperatures aren't going anywhere this weekend. In fact, a little warmer tomorrow afternoon, hitting the middle 80s along the Grand Strand. That's not the full story because it will feel a lot hotter than that. The heat index, what it actually feels like as you're heading out, is in the middle 90s tomorrow, so it's hot. The sea breeze will slowly drop us by 3 to 4 o'clock back down into the upper 70s. Beach plans are looking fine. Water temperatures continue to rise, sitting at 74 to 75 degrees. Again, the warmest weather will likely be around 1 o'clock as the sea breeze moves inland. We'll drop down into the 70s right along the sand a little earlier, 2 to 3 o'clock tomorrow afternoon. Out towards Florence, you're not going to get into the sea breeze there. So we'll continue to climb another round of middle 90s, very similar to what we've had today, 94 degrees for most areas inland. You notice the muggy meter relatively low for our area today. That does change through Saturday and Sunday. Notice it continues to filter in, and once it arrives, it's not going anywhere. Pretty muggy here through the weekend and through most of next week. We're not seeing any big storm systems or any cold fronts to cool us off. In fact, we'll turn even hotter by the end of next week. Middle 80s here along the Grand Strand. The chance of 1 or 2 showers tomorrow afternoon, but most of the area will be rain-free through the weekend. That heat index 96 degrees, dropping just a couple degrees as we head into Sunday. Out towards Florence, there's not as much of a heat index, but the temperatures are hotter, 94 degrees. That's the actual temperature. Most areas inland, again, dropping just a couple degrees into Sunday. And then you look at the heat index for next week. Well, it continues to rise. It's middle 90s through Wednesday. Push it very close to 100 degrees by Friday. Again, that's not the actual temperature, what it feels like. It will feel like nearly 100 degrees by the end of next week.
So you're setting up everyone's pool days, beach days, absolutely perfectly.
Outdoor plans are fine. It's just hot, but rain chances for the next probably 2 weeks looking pretty slim.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Thanks, Robert. Well, just hours ago, Governor Henry McMaster held a ceremonial bill signing for the electric cooperative bill. One thing this bill will do is require the main residence for anyone serving on the board of an electric co-op to be served by that cooperative. It'll also require the disclosure of compensation and benefits of the members of the board of trustees.
And we kept the customer at the focal point of what we were trying to accomplish. And that's why I think we have a very good piece of legislation that will set the cooperative system up for decades to come.
This bill also gives state regulators the power to do inspections, audits, and examinations of compliance for cooperatives when needed. Governor Henry McMaster also signing a new bill which would make it illegal for anyone to present their pet as a service animal without the proper qualifications. The bill defines a service animal or service animal in training as an animal that's trained or that's being trained for the purposes of assisting or accommodating the sensory, mental, or physical disability of a disabled person. The bill makes that offense a misdemeanor with penalties including fines and possibly even community service. A recent study by the National Institute for Early Education Research shows access to preschool in South Carolina exceeds national average, but state funding fails to keep pace. WNBF News reporter Amy Kawada spoke with a parent and joins us with why she says early childhood education is so important for kids.
I spoke with Amy Gathings, and her daughter is just finishing up preschool. But she tells me she wasn't able to enroll her daughter into a public preschool here in Horry County because of the lack of resources. So she opted to enroll her into a private school instead. A recent study shows over the past 5 years, South Carolina has steadily expanded pre-K access, with nearly 27,000 children enrolled in the 2017-18 school year. That's above the national average. However, state spending per child has decreased by 5% this year, falling well below the national average. Gathings tells me preschool has made a significant impact on her daughter's growth, noting her language and social skills have increased tremendously. Experts say the first 5 years of a child's life are especially crucial for physical, intellectual, and social emotional development. Gathings believes early childhood education is the building blocks for a better future.
As a parent, you know, we see our kids at night and in the mornings when they go off to school, and like they say, it takes a village to raise your kids. And so to have the help of the teachers has been tremendous. And, you know, I know that there is, you know, so much love for all these kids. So I just wish that they could put more teachers into the public schools, because I know there's so many out there that want to do it. But if they just had the funding, if they had the resources that they could do it, they could open up so much more.
And for those interested in enrolling your child into pre-K, the Horry County School Child Development Program is accepting applications now until May 24th. In Myrtle Beach, Amy Kawada, WNBF News.
Happening right now, more than 500 CrossFitters are here in Myrtle Beach. Coming up, I'll tell you why and how you can get in front of all the action. All new and next at 5.
This weekend, more than 500 CrossFit athletes will be competing in Myrtle Beach for one of the largest CrossFit competitions in the state. WNBF News reporter Ian Klein is live at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium. And Ian, CrossFit is becoming one of the most popular fitness trends in the world right now.
Yeah, Meredith, you would know it yourself. I know you're an avid CrossFitter, but here we got more than 500 signing in this morning. They got a bunch of fun bags, goodie bags and stuff, getting people acclimated. They got a bunch of coupons and things that you can get involved in. Now, this event, this is going to be one of the largest CrossFit events here in Myrtle Beach. I was talking to Myrtle Beach Sports Tourism Director Tim Hubert earlier today, and he expects this CrossFit competition to bring in nearly $200,000 to $300,000 worth of economic impact here in the Myrtle Beach area. Now, CrossFit has been one of the most popular sports and growing in this area in Myrtle Beach. And it's not just for your everyday athlete, it's also for the everyday man just trying to get involved in some type of fitness and healthy. We're also seeing a lot of women getting involved in the sport as well. I was able to talk to 2 CrossFit enthusiasts that are helping put on this event this weekend and say they are more than excited after seeing how much this sport has grown in the decade to have an event this large and successful.
It's probably the biggest CrossFit event in the Southeast, to be honest with you. We have grown from, when we started 7 years ago, we had under 100 athletes, and every year we've grown, and this year we have almost 550 athletes coming.
550 is a big number, and it does start to get a little scary, but having the city and this site, I think it makes it easier for us to execute in the way that we have in the past, and really be able to put on a good event for the athletes.
And you can see through our mass cam, the course is set up here at Doug Shaw Memorial Stadium, the first CrossFit event I've ever held here at Doug Shaw. They're looking forward to a great 2 days of competition. Saturday, individual competition, Sunday, group competition. Coming up at 7, I'll actually take you inside a local CrossFit facility with several CrossFitters that are going to be competing here in Myrtle Beach this weekend. Reporting in Myrtle Beach, Ian Klein, WNBF News.
It's going to be hot out there this weekend. Temperatures into the 80s, but feeling like the 90s. Beach play is not bad this weekend. 82 degrees, a little bit of a longshore current. That's the one that kind of pulls you down the beach. You'll probably feel that as you're headed out, but the water temperatures warming up, 75 degrees, and it's a very quiet weather pattern here over the next week. Big area of high pressure keeps all the rain away. Continues to bring in the heat and humidity. Temperatures feeling like the 90s this weekend. Will push the heat index close to 100 degrees by the end of next week.
I just can't believe my ears when you keep saying 100 degrees already. We're not even in June.
Exactly.
All right, we'll see you back here after Inside Edition at 6 o'clock.